Yes, and we're endorsing the Lions voice. Big up Ras Tafari. Yes, and we're endorsing the Lions voice. Big up Ras Tafari. Say it.
Big up Ras Tafari.
It is time for the Lion to tell our own story. Yes, sir.
There is a land far, far away, where there's no night, there's only day. Looking to
Yonde asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the Lions and the Lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
Of the petitions survive. Right. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, be the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Wanna go dismantle the base when the trumpet sound and the violence cease. How we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the prince of peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, front to us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather more. Lidj Tafari, we do it.
iRoots Records, an online shop for reggae and dub vinyl, CDs and Rastafari books. Rastafari owned, operated for over 15 years. We ship worldwide. We have many titles from frontline publications in stock. We have 50 plus Akabeka mid
Chanta, Asafa Widimaya, and many more incredible artists. Vibes provided by Andy Ites, Ainike, Esau, One Journey, Javerse, Royal Chanta, Asafa Widimaya, and many more incredible artists. Vibes provided by Unity Sound, Rastek, Royal Ethiopian Sound, Jawise, and Blackfoot Movements. Hosted by Diverse Music. Enjoy Community Entrepreneur Awards, Organic Seed Exchange, Live Art Installation.
Gripping narrative of empowerment, retribution, and the pursuit of justice. Brenda and her group sisters bond together in therapy over their common struggles, but soon their group becomes the subject of an investigation. As the vigilantes' actions escalate, the relentless detective, Officer Woodley, races to unmask the mystifying figure. For the Woman Painted Purple is a pulse-pounding tale that explores the boundaries of justice, revenge, and the fighting spirit. This thrilling saga delves
you do not want to miss. We offer worldwide shipping, so order your copy today at www.degreerspaintbrush.com. Alternatively, you can order your copy from TikTok. If you are interested in stocking the book, please email us at degreerspaint
arts, reasoning, and unity. But this year, it's more than a festival. Rastafest is partnering with the Rastafari Mansions and organizations to support the Relief, Rebuild, Rise initiative, helping Rastafari families and communities rebuild, resist the risk of disasters, and to rise to their true potential. This is culture with a cause. Full Joy the music, support the mission. Donate to the Relief, Rebuild, Rise GoFundMe through the link in the RMO Jamaica.
an evening that helps transform lives by supporting quality education and sustainable development at the JRDC School in Shashamane, Ethiopia. Your presence and generosity help empower children, strengthen communities, and build a brighter future. Can't attend? You can still make a difference by donating at shashamane.org or by scanning the event QR code. Mark your calendar. Bring your family and friends, and let's build a lasting legacy together. We'll see you there. Rastafari TV and Sight Media are proud sponsors of the Shashamane Foundation.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Charles March Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Tonight we have a special episode. This is the eve of the 134th anniversary of the birth of Lidj Tafari, Lidj Tafari. We celebrating all over the world, so tonight is going to be a celebratory vibration. We're going to have one sounding from different regions. We're going to put the link in the StreamYard link in the comment section. So we're going to ask ones just to come in. I also want to talk about Rastafari youth, you Rastafari young people, the children of I and I, what are we doing? Let's have a reasoning about that. We'll also touch on some history as well of Lidj Tafari. I'll read a little bit from my book. You don't know, this is the time of year when the book becomes very relevant. We wrote a book about the birth of Lidj Tafari. This whole book is about 1892, and the anchor for the story is July 23rd, 1892, through all of the chapters. So if you have not got your copy of the book, now is a good time. You can get it off of the website. We also are still raising funds for our elder Bongo Wisely. Look at the bottom of the screen. Can link with the elder to give that strength. But tonight, we are going into the celebration of the 134 anniversary. As I seal up this live, I'm going straight to the Nyabingi ground here in Washington, D.C. So once I've already prepared the grounds, I've seen the footage, whole heap of work, whole heap of community efforts have gone into the preparation for the Nyabingi, so I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to really big up everyone who is taking this journey. Tonight is a Rastafari focus episode. We are Rastafari, we are Pan-African, but tonight this is our time of year. Christians have Christmas. We have July 23rd. We celebrate the Almighty manifesting himself in flesh and bone, who sit upon King David's throne, So the Irish of the Most High, the might and the power of the Trinity, which this name was bestowed upon him 40 days after his birth. and was revealed to the world on November 2nd, November 2nd, 1930. But the name was given, 40 days after his birth. It was his baptismal name, so powerful, vibration. Big up all of the Lion Pride trading in from over land and sea. Tonight also we're gonna try and see if we can raise $134 for the channel. That's 10 people, $10. So we're gonna, 13 people, sorry, $10. One person, $5. So we're gonna try to see if we can hit that through the show. We are exercising that collective security muscle at all time. Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. The vision is that we are self-funded, moving through. Tomorrow, I have so many announcements from now until August. We're going to be loaded up with episodes and videos and special guests. There's a lot going on, family. I'm telling the item. Big up. If this is your first time watching the channel, we are one of the premier Rastafari media platforms on the planet, and the reach is only growing, increasing. We have, as I said, some major episodes planned moving forward. Tomorrow, we will be having a Isla reasoning with a Rastafari elder, Abba Yahuda. And this brethren wrote a book about the Rastafari connection with the Nazarene, Essene, mystic tradition. He's also part of a design firm doing eco-friendly design. We're going to talk about the building of Zion. We're going to talk about the birth of His Majesty. So that's a special episode tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm trying to bring up the flyer for the item. And then on Saturday, we have Reading Ras on the Front Line, one of the favorites shows that is emerging on the channel with the legend Ras Tafari. So this Saturday, Reading Ras on the Front Line will be there. And then Sunday, we're going to be reasoning with Brother Carl and Mama Valerie of the Shashamani Shashamani Foundation. Let me pull up. So this is tomorrow, Lion Talk tomorrow. And this is the brethren Abba Yahuda. Big up to Sister Fanai Rastafari TV for the link. So tomorrow on His Majesty Earthstrong, we will be going live to have a reasoning. Even though typically I'm on the Nyabingi ground, we realize now that we have a responsibility to the global family. Some of the items are in regions there are no other Rastafari gather, so we want to have something special for the item on His Majesty Earthstrong. So we'll have that. We'll also probably do a flash forward to one of the reasonings on Lidj Tafari or Yashima Bet Ali. I'm not certain which one we'll do, but we'll have something. So this is the eve of the birth. So we're gonna have a airy time. I'm posting the link to the StreamYard in the comment section. Let me see if I can pin the comment so that anyone who wants to come in tonight and block a sound, this is the night for the item. Just like when we do our 70,000 or 80,000 episodes, and we take viewers, that's what we're doing today. So I'm putting the link in the comments. So feel free to come and share with us what's happening in your region. We want to use this as a tradition, as we grow the channel. We want on the eve, just have a global check-in. How many people, let me know in the comments, how many people saw when we made history this Saturday with our, this Tuesday, sorry, with our episode with the Uganda Rastafari community. If you have not seen that episode with the House of Rastafari, East Africa, brethren and sister in Uganda, make sure you check it out. I'm in reasonings with the Rastafari Society of Kenya, brethren. Big case over there that was just lost, dismissed. We're going to hear from them. We're going to get the details. So Kenya will be forwarded on. And we're just trying to make these connections, with all of our international family. As we grow as a Rastafari family, we are minimizing the differences and we're just reaching out across land and sea to play the role of that connective tissue. Big up yourself, Tommy Dread. We want 13 people, $10. We're going to try to raise $134 tonight as well as a global family for the channel at the same time that we give thanks for the history. While I wait for someone to come on board, and we may have some special guests, I'm not sure yet. While I wait, I want to go into some history. I want to just read from my book. We're celebrating the birth of His Majesty. And so we want to set the scene, set the stage of this child, this baby boy that would literally change the face of the earth. Without this day, the birth of this young man, I would not be here in the form that I am right now. This channel wouldn't be a reality. We wouldn't be gathered. I wouldn't know the Lion Pride. There would be no Lion Pride. There would be no Bob Marley. There would be no Rastafari movement. There would be nothing that we're talking about right now would not exist but for the day of July 23rd, 1892, and the manifestation of that little child in the middle. Big up Mama Askali, who found this picture during her research in Ethiopia. And before we get into the book, this picture was taken in 1896. Ras Makonnen had it commissioned before he went off to Ottawa. And he had the picture on his person as he went out to fight in the battle, thinking about his only son from the womb of Yoshimabet. Of course, he had the Chasmach Yilma by another woman, but the only son from his lawful marriage with Yoshimabet, it was Lidj Tafari. So that little youth in the center, sitting on a throne already, you can see the majesty. This is the anointed iris, The Greeks call it the Christos. It's been given name all through history, but what we can know is that he was anointed to do a work. So I'm just going to read from chapter 1 of my book, just to set the stage for our reasoning today. We have the StreamYard link in the comment section. If you're just joining us, feel free. Your camera has to be on for you to join the stream. But we want to hear from our family. So come and join us. Let us know what's happening in your region. Any sounds that you want to block about the birth of Lidj Tafari. This is a celebration episode. We are giving thanks and praises for the manifestation. Many charismatic characters have risen under the banner of Rasta or Rastafari, but there is one, and we as the Lion Voice Network, one of our strategic goals is the restoration of Haile Selassie I, Lidj Tafari, as unquestioned head of the Rastafari movements. This is why I don't identify as Rasta, straight Rastafari, because we are called by his name. Who is he? He was born on the 23rd of July. So I'm going to read from my book, chapter 1, This is called the evil days. And we always start with Isaiah 9:6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And every one of those titles, Haile Selassie, this little baby boy, was called by all of those names, the Wonderful, the Counselor. These are all attributes. The Mighty God, you know what I mean? That the man was called the Mighty God, the Almighty to this day. Not him telling people, I'm the Almighty, come follow me. But people identifying the energy and saying the Almighty God, the Everlasting Father. He's the Father of Africa. So when the history is written, or as the history is being written, even about this great continent that we seek to return, when you're looking at the history, the Father of Africa is Haile Selassie I. That's why I love this trad so much. We don't have to make up. And even if we agree to disagree, we don't have to take the history. I can accept that because the glory is written. You know what I mean? It's just that I and I have to come and reveal it. And Rastafari, when he had Ethiopia admitted to the League of Nations, when he abolished slavery in Ethiopia, these were names that were being called of him, the Prince of Peace, you know. But it started July 23rd in Ajerso-Godo, near the province of Harar. And this is where we open the book. So this is chapter 1 of Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings. His first cries were drowned by thunder. The thunder signaled the triumph of his birth. He lived. He survived the perils of childbirth. All his brothers and sisters had been miscarried, delivered stillborn, or died shortly after their birth. 8 children conceived, 8 lives claimed. The angel of death would not claim this child. And just to interject, Ras Kez Ezekiel is saying now through research it was 7 miscarriages. So His Majesty was the 7th out of the womb. There were 6 miscarriages. So the next edition of this book, we'll have to correct that from 9 to 7. But this is how the history will evolve and grow. No one witnessing the birth could have known his battle against death was only beginning. However, this moment, the moment of his birth, he was victorious. Death did not prevail. The woman who surrounded his mother and the hundreds of people who anxiously awaited his arrival were witnesses to a thunderous welcome for the boy child. Their anxiety was partially because it was believed that the boy's mother's previous misfortunes with childbirth were caused by a curse. Almost immediately after his birth, the baby boy was taken away from his mother to distance him from any curse that may have afflicted her. No one could have known the power of this child or that he would forever change his ancient realm and the kingdom into a modern nation. No one present could have known that he would inspire billions of people, be praised by some as a living manifestation of the Almighty, hated by some as a tyrant, or that he would forever change Africa and the world. For a moment, the moment of the birth of the baby boy, the angel of death was defeated and evil was forced to retreat. On July 23rd, 1892, in that mountainous land, in the midst of a crippling drought, the heavens opened and released life-giving water. The land scorched by the seemingly omnipresent sun was granted relief. The rain fell relentlessly from the sky and replenished the earth. An end to the evil days. So you can see the style that we write it in. Even though it's a history, we are utilizing our African griot vibration. You know what I mean? Big up Ras Roots. blessings. We have $20. So with $30, we're trying to raise $134 dollars on this stream. Big up to my Lion Pride and Patreon. We have our town hall meeting this Sunday coming up as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to read a little bit more. I don't see anybody coming up to join us. I put the link in the chat. We need some energy. I need company. Don't leave me. Don't leave me on the stream by myself. I need some company. So we're asking ones, calling the eve of the birth of Lidj Tafari. You know what I mean? What a joy in a Zion that we have this little youth that was blessed. The second from your left, you know what I mean, or second from your right, if you're watching, is Lidj Tafari. We know these pictures. All right, let me read a little bit more. An end to the evil days, because in addition to being the only surviving child out of the womb of his mother, and of course we know Revelation, the dragon who sat by the womb of the lady that was to give birth, and all of these things that was saw in a vision by John on the island of Patmos. We know all of them things there, but just the history and the fact that, you know, she went through so many miscarriages and she died in childbirth. So the only surviving child out of the womb, what an epic beginning for Lidj Tafari. So and then we also have to set the scene about the great drought that was taking place in Ethiopia at that time. Let me read from this part here. An end to the evil days. There is a land that is far away from the modern centers of power, where the sun has always dominated, a land of 13 months of sunshine, a land of towering mountains that, until the modern era, was shrouded in mystery, a land more ancient than recorded history. This land is the land of the people of the sun-kissed faces, the land known as Ethiopia. The ancient Greek historian Homer referred to the majestic realm south of Egypt as the land where the gods love to feast. The inhabitants of the land in 1892 called it Abyssinia. During the drought, the gods of Homer's writings were nowhere to be found, as famine showed the land no mercy. The angels of death reigned unchallenged. All the kingdoms of the realm were affected. The famed leaders from the great houses and their august sovereign had no answers. The kingdoms of Gojam, Begemdir, and Showa were forced into submission. The kingdoms of Tigray, Wollo, and Yeju were pummeled with punishment. Even the kingdom of Kaffa and the kingdom of Gondar, the capital of ancient kings, were brought to their knees. The drought had plagued Ethiopia and the city-state of Harar in particular since 1888. The coming of the rain was not a sudden event. Days earlier, black clouds had slowly amassed in the sky, signaling the coming relief to the years of drought. The sky grew dark. Rain showered the earth. The falling rain was bringing an end to the evil days. Those evil days, or Kefuken, as the people throughout the kingdoms called them, had arrived with drought. The days and then the years of the Kefuken made Ethiopia a demon's paradise, as if the omnipotent Almighty had forsaken the land where the gods love to be. It was as if the angel of death's forces of darkness had been permitted to reign over the Almighty's peculiar treasure. The Lord of Flies let loose his armies. Parts of the land were seized by suffocating swarms of tsetse flies, while caterpillars and locusts destroyed the most edible crops. A menacing plague accompanied the drought, killing 90% of the cattle in Ethiopia. In some places, the bodies of dead cattle seemed to stretch to the horizon, and the stench of death stifled the air. The dead cattle provided the perfect habitat for numerous native diseases to thrive: smallpox, typhus, cholera, and influenza. And it was not long before human bodies were added to the landscape. Disease impartially searched the crevices and corners of the crowded cities, encampments, and villages alike. There were mass migrations across kingdoms as people uprooted from their ancient dwelling places to seek refuge from the relentless famine. The scene was apocalyptic in proportion. Had the kingdom of hell become manifest and unleashed its armies against Ethiopia? Was the sun that blessed Ethiopia with 13 months of sunshine now being used as a weapon to bring about the destruction of the realm? Was suffering to become status quo? For 4 years, the angel of death stood triumphant over Ethiopia's kingdoms. It is estimated that 1/3 of the people of Ethiopia lost their lives during those evil days. The smell of death brought Mother Nature's morticians out of their hiding places. Lions, hyenas, and leopards feasted on the banquet provided by the angel of death. The hyenas in particular feasted until they could barely move. Some of the fattened hyenas became prey to hungry humans, some of whom were forced to pick through animal droppings for edible pieces of straw. Vultures were ever-present markers of death in the Ethiopian skies. So, we're just reading from Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Lion Voice Network. We are here celebrating the eve of the 131st anniversary of the birth of Kadamawi Haile Selassie, born as Lidj Tafari or Lidj Tafari by I and I Rastafari family. And I'll read a little bit more from my book a little bit later. But we're posting the StreamYard link in the comments. I'm seeing we would love some company. We want to hear from the global Lion Pride family. Check in what's happening in your region. Any thoughts that you have? How has Rastafari impacted your life? Let's touch on the global impact. And we're going to be doing a live tomorrow, so we'll also touch on the global impact of the movement as well tomorrow. But this is the Eve family. Let us celebrate. The link is in the chat. We are live here. And also, let me just big up the Lion Pride. The item, I big up the item as the greatest online community on the planet Earth. I big up the item. I talk about the item everywhere I go. I'm bossy about the item because I learn so much from the comment section. I see the love in the comment section. If you're watching the replay, try to see, tune in live and be a part of the experience, because each of these gatherings is an experience. It's a communal experience. So every now and then we share the link to the global family, and we ask ones to come in live and share what's happening with the items. So if you're watching live, the link is in the StreamYard. Click the link. You have to put on your camera, and we are going to do what we can. Big up yourself, Ras7. I see some of the family, them coming in. Our goal for tonight is $134. So right now, I think we're at $35. So if you can give an attribution, 10 people with $10 donation, we seal up that. We are working our muscles here, our collective security muscles, while we celebrate the celebration. I want to talk to the item about our Rastafari youth. We do have a virtual summer camp coming up. The Association of Ras Tafari Creatives, ARC, is doing their annual summer camp. So if there are any Rastafari youths out there who or parents with Rastafari youths, you're looking for something that your children can do from August 10th to the 14th. It's going to be a STEAM camp, so the science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. And this year, we are looking to have our children, do the building of Zion. What is their vision for heaven on earth, using what they learn in the STEAM. All of the young people, from the young ones to the teenagers, will have to do a presentation on their vision. We have to ask our youths, and what do they want to see? What are, we can't build and we're not talking to the young people. So if you're watching this and you have Rastafari youths, this is a camp for them. We're also trying to build the international network of young people, so that, a lot of them are isolated. They're the only Rastafari youth in their school or in their community. This gives them a chance to meet other Rastafari youths around the world and say, I'm not that different. I see other young youths treading the same trod. And with technology, a lot of them keep in touch. They're on social media. There's time for them to socialize with each other. It's by Zoom, and there's breakout rooms. So the older youths, them go in a breakout room and get to reason and do coursework that's age appropriate. The younger ones will be together as well. And the beautiful thing is that pay what you can afford. You can give a contribution on the website, so we don't turn away any family. So don't make money be a determining factor. But make sure the items, spread this one out. RastafariCreatives.com. You can go and see what's going on there, because we have to talk about the youths them. Yes, we love the birth of Lidj Tafari, and we're talking about Rasta, but what about our Rastafari youths of today? Are we having summer camps where they can learn about Lidj Tafari and how from he was born, the government was on his shoulder? Ethiopia was surrounded by colonial powers, Their future emerging into the scramble for Africa was to determine how they would go, and who stood in the breach. Who did history send into the breach? Was Lidj Tafari. So we celebrate because of his manifestation, the Rastafari movement was born. We are going to be having expert researcher come on to talk about the Rastafari uprising in the United States in Chicago, 1919. I always wondered as a youth why the movement wasn't called Haile Selassieites, because in Jamaica we mostly hear about Hibbert, Dunkley, Howell, them preaching after the coronation, Haile Selassie I, but the name Rastafari is there. And now we're finding out that in America in 1919, ones did rise up and they were known as Rastafarites, So that name, pre-coronation ones, were already citing the divinity in the West. We know the beginning of the movement started in Ethiopia, because from he was born, one cited the divinity in Ethiopia. The legend of Lidj Tafari started in Ethiopia. But in the West, it were Black Americans in Chicago that first cite up on the historical record that we have. We're going to have Ross Floyd Jarvis. He's the chaplain for the prison system in New York State. He's going to be on Next Strong Monday, I believe. Monday evening, we're doing a pop-up. Over the next few days, we'll be publishing schedule. The newsletter is finished. We're going to try to get it out tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's going to go out tomorrow. We've been working overtime. If you are not signed up on our free Patreon, please go to Patreon and become a free member. You can get the link through my website, thechazmachkwasi.com, so that we have your email so that we can make sure you get the email, the newsletter. You can tap in, you get notifications about episodes, all of those things. We're building our network. You know what I mean? Turn on your camera and turn on your microphone. Sister Nadine, I see the eye, but it says the devices are not ready. This is a calling episode. I am lonely. I don't know why everybody gets so shy. We're going to read more from the book. This is a celebration, family. As soon as I seal up here, straight at the Nyabingi, chant till morning, rise. And I and I will be there looking forward. Washington, D.C. family, we will be there. This is the time of year that we give thanks for the birth, the manifestation, the uprising of Lidj Tafari. You know what I mean? And again, we have a summer camp coming up. I'm going to read a little bit more from the book until one's come up. We just set the scene. This is from Haile Selassie's Ethiopia. We're reading about the plague in Ethiopia because his birth ended a drought. You know, these are just the facts. I know it sounds like a blockbuster film, and our plan is to do an animated film, you know, but we are here. The evil plague. It would later be discovered that the cattle plague was a foreign invader, which had previously wreaked havoc in Europe. The deadly pathogen hitched a ride on Italian cattle to infect the isolated land of Ethiopia. It was the dreaded rinderpest, which worked its way from the coast into the highlands. Known for its habit of following war, rinderpest was an untimely and unwelcome guest in Ethiopia. It was a virus that mercilessly killed both cattle and oxen, which were the principal animals used by Ethiopian farmers as tools to prepare their fields for the growing season. Virtually all cattle and oxen-driven agriculture ceased in the land, making the famine worse. For a land dependent on agriculture for survival, the impacts of the famine were far-reaching. Ethiopian agriculture persisted throughout countless centuries of pre-recorded history. The famine of 1888 meant that the cradle of man could no longer protect, feed, and nurture its ancient population. The realm of Ethiopia, the Rift Valley, aka the Cradle. Archaeological discoveries point to Ethiopia being the birthplace of mankind, earning her right to be known as the cradle of humanity. Her mountainous terrain forms the walls of a volcanic cradle that are part of the Great Rift Valley. The Rift Valley marks a giant breach in the crust of the earth where the African continent slowly splits into two parts. It starts in Syria and extends all the way into central Mozambique. And that is why we have to understand Syria, Palestine, all of those places are part of Africa, the ancient African reality. So when we talk about the Abrahamic faiths, we're talking about African cosmology, African people. All of these lands, part of the Rift Valley from an ancient time. It's only recently that the complexion has changed in these regions. Iraq is ancient Babylon. Babylon is attributed to Nimrod. According to the history, Nimrod is the son of who? Cush. So we show you, say, all of them region there was part of the Kushite Empire, early Kushite Empire. But that's, I don't want to stray. That's not in the book. I'm just giving some history about the Rift Valley. The Rift Valley starts in Syria and extends all the way into central Mozambique. It includes the Jordan and the Nile rivers. It runs southwest through Ethiopia, dividing into Ethiopia's eastern plateau of Harar from the central plateau, famous for providing habitation to the Tigray and Amhara kingdoms. The people of Ethiopia, true to the country's name, and like her fertile soil, come in all shades of brown. It is as if a sampling of all the people of Africa were placed on display. 90 languages are spoken in the realm, and all manner of cultures and religions have been practiced since time immemorial. Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are dominant. However, hunter-gatherer societies and nomadic herdsmen also share the land. The nation's use of the Julian calendar gives the country 12 full months and the extra months a few days long, Ethiopia's famed 13 months of sunshine. The massive energy contained in the shifting geology of the Rift Valley formed Ethiopia as a land of mountains, rolling hills, steep valleys, high plateaus, and endless grasslands. A land so diverse that it contains both arid deserts and lush tropical rainforests. Its wildlife is equally as diverse. It is a land of apex predators, such as lions and leopards and cheetahs, and even the rare species of African wolf. It is also the home of other warm-blooded killers such as hyenas, wild dogs, foxes, jackals, and caracals. It is consistent, warm, and for the most part sunny climate. An abundant prey species ensures also home of some of Africa's largest cold-blooded killers, such as Nile crocodiles and African rock pythons. Ethiopia also enjoys numerous species of snakes, turtles, and lizards. As a result of its lush grasslands, it's home to many herbivores such as zebras, African buffalo, rhinoceros, giraffe, oryx, gazelles, wildebeest, and many species of antelope. The mountains of Simeon are home to the rare Ethiopian ibex. In 1892, Ethiopia was still home to the mighty herds of African elephants that helped maintain the landscape for other herbivores. The Somali wild ass also survived in small herds in the lowlands. Ethiopia's rivers were full not only of Nile crocodiles, but hippopotamus as well. While the hippopotami gladly kept the river channels free of vegetation, the males were fiercely territorial and had to be given wild birth by the inhabitants of the realm. Primates were also common in the form of lemurs and baboons, like the world-famous Galada baboons, which lived in large social groups high in the Simeon Mountains. Ethiopia was also home to hundreds of species of birds, such as pelicans, cranes, ibis, flamingos, eagles, blue-winged geese, and several species of vultures. All of Ethiopia's wildlife had to contend with the effects of the evil days. The herbivores particularly did not benefit. Meanwhile, scavengers and other species were able to flourish. The scavengers came in many forms. A few years before the start of the evil days, the external enemies of Ethiopia had conceived a plan to ensure that Ethiopia emerged from the evil days in bondage. Though the falling rain had started to loosen the grip of the evil days and disperse the ever-present vultures in the Ethiopian skies, it would be too late to save Ethiopia from facing the vultures controlling the nation states rising against her. The Italians used the chaos caused by the evil days to claim land on Ethiopia's coast for the Roman government. In their minds, Africa was resource-rich carcass, which they wanted their portion. On July 23rd, 1892, a weakened Ethiopia had been long on the road to conflict with Europe and its philosophy of colonialism and white supremacy. Newborn. The baby boy born on that day was not concerned with any impending conflict. In 1892, it was not yet an accomplished fact that the government and his people's freedom would rest on his shoulders. It had not yet been written that he would be forced to wage war against the encroaching Italians for his land and his people. The baby boy was not yet old enough to engage in geopolitical struggles. Even his mother's struggle to push him out through her narrow hips was of no concern. The baby who survived the odds did not have time to bask in the warmth and affection of his mother. He would not suckle from her warm bosom. He was immediately removed from her loving arms by the attending women who were under strict instructions to do so. The previous fruit of her womb had perished. The baby must be protected from the evil eye or any other curse attached to his earthly mother. The life-giving falling rain were surely joined by tears of the baby boy and by the tears of a mother who was not able to spend the night with her baby boy, her only living child. So that's chapter 1 of Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings. So you can kind of see the vibes where we write the book, Birth of His Majesty. It's a thick book. This book filled with history, filled with fact, but it's written from an African griot perspective. So you can get it off of the website. I'll put up the information and we'll read a little bit more. I love the second chapter is all about the Berlin Conference. So I'll give you a little piece of that. We set the stage. This is a global epic. The vision is to make an animated film out of it, you know, because again, we want to do things that impact our young people, you know, as we build and prepare for the next 50 years or the next 134 years of the Rastafari movement. We're a baby movement. We want to put in place some things, you know what I mean, for our young people. So again, we have the ARC STEAM Camp. If you know any young people, send them to RastafariCreatives.com. Queen Mother Moses, big up yourself. I'm posting the link, Queen Mother Moses. Why don't you come up and give us a report on the EWF convention and what they are dealing with, Queen Mother. We're also trying to raise $130 dollars for this live. So help us to reach our goal. The brethren say, well done, reason I never knew Rastafari childhood. We're also going to be launching a GoFundMe. This is just volume 1. Part of my life work is telling the story of His Majesty. So this is just volume 1. This only deals with 1892. Volume 2 is going to go from 1893 to 1906, where he was given the title of the Chaz Match. The last chapter of this book is the first chapter of the next book. So like a end credit scene type of vibes. And so this is just volume 1. But to get the time to commit, I want to go to Ethiopia, to Harar, to Ajerso Godo to do some in-person research, also get some books translated into English. So I'm going to be doing some fundraising because I need to take like a month off of work to do that. So I have to deal with it like a project, you know what I mean, and just get it funded. And I'm going to be coming to the Lion Pride family to do that. If you haven't read the book, we're going to read a little bit tonight. We're celebrating the birth of Lidj Tafari. So why not share some of the history of this great baby boy? I'm posting the StreamYard link is in the chat. We're posting it. I don't know why everybody's so shy tonight. I'm lonely. Usually we have a guest. I said open up the show tonight for the Global Lion Pride. Let us know what's happening in your region. Let us know what the item are doing, what's going on. If the link is not working, also let me know. but we would love to have someone come up and share the blessings with I and I. We're going to be reading some more from Haile Selassie Ethiopia, Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings. We're celebrating the birth of Lidj Tafari today, family. The second chapter number 2 is about the Berlin Conference. So I think I'll skip that chapter so we can stay on the birth. I'm going to go to chapter 3, Islam's Holy Harar. And we'll read from chapter 3. The item can see. Islam's Holy Harar. So in chapter 3, we started with a quote from the Kebra Nagas. Let Ishmael live before me, and I will make him a great nation, and he shall beget 12 nations and shall reign over them. So that's from the Kebra Nagas. And, you know, Ishmael, they say, is the progenitor of the Islamic branch of monotheism. So this is chapter 3. A baby boy had been born to noble parents during the evil days. His father ensured his birth was in the best conditions available in the realm. He was born in a time where many died. The evil days had claimed countless lives. This baby boy lived. Then he was immediately taken from his mother without experiencing her motherly affection. He did not have the blessing of suckling from his mother's warm bosom. He also would not spend his first nights in the arms of his father. His first sustenance came from a stranger, a wet nurse. These were not happy times. No one could truly be certain that the evil days were gone. Survival was the priority. The baby who conquered death was born in the mountains near a city that was not of his forefathers. His father was the reason the family lived in the city. His parents had only recently arrived in the region to live in the infamous city. With the consent of his father, the baby boy was removed from his mother and likely taken to a temporary location near the city, not far from his mountain birthplace. The city would become the boy's first home. The city itself was ancient and had a story of its own, a story that would only be enhanced by his arrival. All right, we have our first guest coming through. Let me introduce one of our regular family members, one of a good sistren, Bakersfield, tested. Please welcome Queen Mother Moses. Empress, Queen Mother Moses. Let me get it right. Unmute yourself. Bobo Selassie, put on your camera. And
I'm sure Jen had it.
Greetings.
And bless Rasquazi and the Lion Pride, Lion and Lionesses. You know, it's our Christmas now in Ethiopia, you know. Even though we are in Harlem.
Yes.
You know Harlem?
Yes.
It's where His Majesty sent his cousin and physician, Dr. Malaku Bayen, to found the Ethiopian World Federation for the Black peoples of the world. And I give for the to have been a delegate at the 2026 Ethiopian World Federation Convention. that just concluded here in Harlem. You know, we were at the Adam Clayton Powell State Building and also the CUNY University Center here in Harlem. I bless Maria Blake sends greetings. Massive. Blessings.
Beautiful, beautiful. You're cutting out a little bit, but we'll work with it.
All right. Let me stay one place, because you know I am hyperactive. So I will stay one place, so that will minimize me going in and out.
Yes, now
All
we're
right.
hearing the eye
Blessings.
good. We're hearing the eye good now. So talk to us. I spoke with the now former international president. I know the election happened. There's a new president of Ethiopian World Federation now, and different changes. So I had a very positive reasoning. How did you find the convention? Overall, I got to attend the pre-convention, which was my first pre-convention, which I was very honored to attend. That's where I actually met Dr. Umar Johnson and some of the delegates and thing, and it's very impressive. The only thing I would say is that we definitely need more young people present. Dr. Umar did bring out some young people when I was there, a group, a young brethren. That made me feel so irie to see these young brothers, you know what I mean? When I say young, you know, I'm talking college age, because remember, most of the elders came into Rastafari as teenagers. You know, myself, I was in university undergrad when I signed up. So that is part of the energy, and we're not seeing that as much, you know? So it was so joyful for I to be in Harlem and see these New York young people come in and seat up and to get the knowledge. But how I mean, I used to them thing there, because this was not your first convention. How did you find?
No, it was not my first convention, but it was my first convention as a delegate. You know, I was a delegate of Local 12, so it was also a learning experience for me. And I'm telling you, I'm glad that I had that experience. Really, really grateful for it. Yes, we had a change in leadership. The former international president, Dr. Winburn, was re-elected into being the 2026 international president of the Ethiopian World Federation. However, attorney Cheryl Murray Powell remains the president of the Ethiopian World Federation Local 12 charter. So she still has a presidency that she is managing. And it is Local 12 efforts that have put the Ethiopian World Federation forward on the right track of adhering to the constitution, which was given by Dr. Malaku Bayen on August 25th, 1937, right here in Harlem. So I of the Local 12 charter will continue to support the Ethiopian World Federation globally. We even have Africa coming on board on a higher level. We have 2 locals in Ghana. And since we launched the Global Run Pack, which if you don't know, Rastafari Unity Nation Pack, Pan-African Collective Mission for unity in the community with economic prosperity for the African at home and abroad. Yeah. So as part of that, we did motivate Sierra Leone Rastafari Council to become a chartered member of the Ethiopian World Federation. Because the bottom line is, my brothers and sisters, the only institution Emperor Haile Selassie I created for the peoples of the world is the Ethiopian World Federation. And in using family and personal physician. And you know, and it's important that he's a physician, you know, because the mental health of the black peoples of the world is traumatized physically and mentally, you overs. So know that, you know, he was thinking of us in all different ways when he gave the first 500 hectares of land in Shashamane, Ethiopia, for the black peoples of the world to come home to. As I and I celebrated, Jamaica has gotten the recognition for raising up the Rastafari faith of the second advent of the Christ. And Christ is a title that means anointed savior. How did he save I and I? He saved I and I from an identity of slavery. As an emperor, he claimed I and I as blood Ethiopians, thus giving I and I our identity of royalty, that no matter how humble our abode, you understand, I and I are the king and queen in it, and we give birth to prince and princesses. So instead of having a generation of slaves, I and I are now the generation of royalty. And he did come to America in 1954 and declared that he was over all of the black people of the world. And like I said, Jamaica has gotten the reputation for, you know, the Rastafari faith movement, but that is not the total fact. Total fact of the matter was, it was in the United States of America in Chicago that the Rastafari stepped up, you understand, and claim Rastafari. And it is the Rastafari that actually had influenced, you know, the first father, you know, founding father of Pinnacle, Leonard Percival Howell. And I am now in Harlem. And Leonard Percival Howell had a tea shop right here in Harlem. So right now, the history that I and I need to understand that the Africans in America, them not African American, they are just Africans in America. But His Majesty came and claimed them. And in 1954, offered them to come home. He would give them paid 3 months vacation. They would have their own transport. Can you imagine for 3 months, you could always come back to America and do whatever you want because you have 3 months vacation. You have job. You have all of that. But the black Americans, because they call themselves Americans, I can't claim, even though Jamaica is part of the Americas, the Caribbean, I can't call myself American. Yes. Why? Because Amerigo Vespucci is what America is named after, and that's an Italian. That's not my identity. I am an African born in Jamaica. Yes, I have U.S. citizenship because my children were born in America. I came to America when I was only 13 years old. You understand? And my children are born in America. My grandchildren and great-grandchildren are born in Atlanta, Georgia, while my children are born in New York. But guess what? They all get their first basic education in the same basic school I went to in Jamaica. So we have to make sure we're holding on to our African identity. When someone asks you where you're from, you just say, I am an African born in. Wherever you are born, because anywhere the Chinese born him is Chinese, and anywhere the Indian born is Indian. So as I and I celebrate the rebirth of that savior, that saved I and I from that identity of slavery by giving us an identity of royalty. Claim your identity. Claim him as your savior. He was anointed. You understand? The patriarch came from Alexander. You see it? On November 2nd, 1930. But him is the Trinity. And that was the third. You understand? The third crowning. Because he was, remember, you know, him born as Lidj Tafari. Lidj means born of royal birth. Tafari means to be feared and revered. You know, see. But then he was baptized according to the custom of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church. And his baptismal name was Haile Selassie. People think it's the coronation name. He just retook his baptismal name. And Haile is Amharic for might and power, and of course Selassie is Amharic for Trinity. So when we say, and then no, make we go to Psalm 68. Am I going too much?
No. I just
All
giving you
right.
some.
Let's
That
to
just
Psalm
giving you some
68
ad-lib.
verse
Man, woman, and child.
4. We have evidence for spirituality. We are spiritual scientists. You know, we can tell where you can find these things. And you know, for those what talk about, you know, when we talk about King James the white man, King James not a white man. Them say have one drop of black blood, you're black. And King James' mother was a mulatto. King James was the king of Ireland and Scotland before he became the king of, you know, England. And it was he all he did was authorized, you know, that a new translation be made. That is not only the rich and famous who know the Latin could have get access to this knowledge that I and I have now. But they make sure so them leave in there that God said in Jeremiah 8 verse 21, for the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. You understand? Keep it in, and we'll be here Selassie version of the Bible. I will put out the old version where we have the cave and the Gasonite and etc. too. But we use the King James version because it is who I and I are. And King James is a black man with a drop of black blood in him. You understand? And him say, I and I, God saying black. No, the other Bible then put that black as something negative. But when you go in a Daniel and in different parts and a Revelation, him tell you about him describe himself, him here, wool. Like I and I. Black people have wool here. When you show me a straight hair white man with blue eyes, me can't accept that because that is not consistent with the scripture. Him also tell us what his skin look like. Him say his skin is like brass and brass brown and dark, right? Burnt in fire. That means it black like I and I. And we know the Ethiopian, can the Ethiopian change its skin or the leopard its spot? No. You have Ethiopian that can pass for being Caucasian. You have Ethiopian that look Asian, Oriental, right? Look at India. India, the Ganges holy river in India is named after the Ethiopian emperor Ganges, who was ruling India and beyond. Overs. So you cannot get away from the fact that the whole world was Ethiopia. But God was the peace. And tell you in Genesis 2, right at the beginning, that a river out of even water garden. It went for the whole world, east, west, north, south, 4 heads, right? The name of the first is Peace, and that's the southern part. And the name of the second is Gion. In River Nile, and that is Gion River Nile pass means the circle, the whole land of Ethiopia. That in the King James version. So you know, if we go find Ethiopia in our holy books, 166 different books. Of course, those.
Okay, we lost the Queen Mother. I'm putting the link in the chat. Feel free to join us. This is an open platform. We're celebrating the birth of Lidj Tafari tomorrow, July 23rd. One of the most important dates on the Rastafari calendar. Ones will be taking off work, ones will be chanting Nyabingi, ones will be going to dances, celebration. All Rastafari celebrate differently. But without July 23rd, there is no Rastafari movement. There is no the Charles March Kwasi as I am today without July 23rd and the birth of Lidj Tafari. This is a great day, great celebration. As I seal up here, I'll be going to Nyabingi for the celebration, for the fire lighting. We're also telling ones, support the works, Haile Selassie Ethiopia. I'm going to read a little bit more, but we do have the Royal Queen return. Our goal for tonight is $134.
Light out there.
I think we've raised
Oh,
about 35 so far. Let me see what we have here. Tommy Dread, Lion Pride and Patreon checking in. Big up yourself, Tommy Dread, with the $10 attribution. Ras Roots, never leave I and I out yet, $20, that's 30. And then we have Ras 7, one of our faithful Lion Pride. Big up yourself, Ras, every time. Also with the $5 attribution. Big up everyone. Every Mika Meka Moko and 1 Coco full basket. So we are raising funds. One of the goals that we have on the Lion Pride is to have the funds to have a proper budget, hire staff. Yes, I edit all of the videos. I don't want to do that. I can do it. I'm competent, but that's not my gift. I want to hire an editor. We want to hire some people, as well as be able to put full time into the platform that it deserves. This platform deserves full time, major production. We're building out that community with the item strength. So give thanks to everyone who has joined as a monthly subscriber. 53 members of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up on yourself. And we're asking ones, join us as monthly subscribers. That is our bread and butter that helps us pay for the website subscription, the StreamYard subscription, the this, the that, Canva, all of the things that we take to bring you this content. And give thanks that we're able to, that I don't have to come out of pocket, because if I did, I don't think the Queen would be so happy with I spending so much time. But because of the item made this possible. We can justify to the Queen why we have to go live all the time. Give thanks. What's that there you have, Queen Mother Moses?
yeah. I give thanks. Now, I left out of the basement and I'm upstairs and outside because, we're giving thanks for being here. Really giving thanks. And as you can see, yesterday we talked in the Ethiopian World Federation. We had Ethiopians there also. We also had the representative of His Imperial Highness Prince Haile Selassie Haile Selassie. The representative that was there is the head of the Ethiopian Trust. You over. So I and I definitely connected and keeping connected to the royal family. And this is my Christmas present to, my son, the amazing Papa Gad from the 12 tribes of Israel, and I know him as amazing Papa G. Yes, he sent the funds as the zealot so that I could have the 6-pointed star with the Moambasa, which is the Lion of Judah, in the middle of it. Because guess what? When we read in our Revelation 21:12, because Revelation is the very Revelation 1:1 says the revelation of Christ that God sent. Take him to the last days and tell him what to look for, what I and I, so we won't miss the signs of the times. Because a wicked and adulterous generation shall look for the signs, and none shall be given them. You understand? So I and I neither wicked nor adulterous. That's why we get in all of the signs. The rainbow represents the promise that God made with I and I, the children of the 12 tribes of Israel. Revelation 21:12, so the names and the gates of New Jerusalem are the names of the children of the 12 tribes of Israel. And guess who him said? Judah is he whom his brethren shall praise. And Emperor Haile Selassie I, being born July 23rd, is the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. And Judah is just one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So know if you're holding on to Rastafari, you're holding on to that which has been promised to I and I from that time until this time and forevermore. You overs, because I and I were here from that time. And His Majesty already tell us, you understand? Don't watch what the colonizers have done to our scripture. Just hold on to pre-colonizers coming and messing up the scriptures and the pictures. Because before they came, I and I already had that divinity. Remember, from the 4th century, you understand? I and I we are the eunuch. You understand? Ethiopia has had its place in Jerusalem always from that time until this time. You know, see, our beloved, because, you know, remember, you know, John get this vision, you know, and when John look and see, you know, that no one in the earth or under the earth was found worthy to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And him start to cry. And the angel said unto John, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Jehovah's. And those 7 seals, they bust loose. You know, see it. Not only at the birth, but November 2nd, 1930, as he reclaimed those titles of Haile Selassie, might and power of the Trinity, and he put forward in place what the Ethiopian royal family, the African family, the Rastafari family is supposed to be about. That the Trinity is not about, you know, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but it's about Father, Mother, and Child. You understand? That the Trinity put in place November 2nd, 1930, when he had his wife, our Holy Mother, Empress of Zion, Empress, you know, Wazira Menin Asfa, you know, see, crowned on the same date as himself. That was breaking tradition to set things right. And then he also had his firstborn son, Asfa Wassen, crowned on that same date. So we have a new trinity of man, woman, and child. And as I see Tafari with his father Makonnen, how important it is that we found the bones in Harar, Jesagoro. You know, His Majesty was born in the province of Harar, and the bones were found. Who were the bones found of? His father, his mother, and guess what? And the son of the father, His Majesty. You know, so we have now again, and that Trinity coming forward in I and I time. And I have to big up Kip Ezekiel over there in Ethiopia. You know, see, who is I and I liaison to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and who, you know, help I and I to mobilize so we could help to give the funding to rebuild, you know, see, a tabernacle, a sepulchre for move. The father of His Majesty, the mother of His Majesty, and the son of the father, you know, see, forward. And we know that this is his father because of the cross that the father always wore, and that was embedded in his bones. So we don't deal with no fairy tale. These are facts, you know, see, facts, because no one can claim any human being on earth that is older than the Ethiopian. So when the white archaeologists found the bones, because they was listening to the Beatles song Lucy, them name her Lucy, but the Ethiopian name her Endeminish, beautiful to be praised. And the important thing is that since we found Endeminish Lucy, older bones than hers was found not only in Ethiopia, but also the cradle of civilization in South Africa. That's important. And the the archaeologist that who found it in Ethiopia, his name is also Selassie, you know. So may I tell you, all of these things is not coincidences, but mystical revelation, you know, see. And now when we go all the way down to the southernmost tip of Africa, in Durban, you know, see, you have what they now call the Indian Ocean. But before it was known as the Indian Ocean, it was known as what? The Ethiopian Ocean, because the entire continent was Ethiopia. And I beg to even say the whole world was Ethiopia before. You know, see, because the river went out and went all over, east, west, north, south. You know, see, and over the centuries and centuries and centuries and millenniums of different climatic things happening, and, you know, lava and all those things. breaking away of land masses, etc. We have these different areas. But Rastafari is gathering his children them from the four corners of the earth. And, I don't know you're going to find those corners on a globe because guess what? We know the world round. Because why it round is the circle. That is the African cosmology. And the circle represents what? The circle represents that each and every one of I and I is a leader with leadership, responsibility and leadership skills that we have to claim. That's important. And that circle now is what gives us every number you can think of. Yes, guess how you get that now? If you cut the circle in half, you get 2 arcs. And every number is a combination of the arc and what? When you open the circle all the way, it becomes a straight line. Every number is a combination of that arc, the half of the circle, and a line. And the circle is that 0. 1 is not the beginning. 0 is. And 9 is the biggest number. And no matter how you add it or deal with it, it's still 9. You don't get no bigger than that. And what is 9? That circle with that straight line down. Because that is everything connected. Right? Think about it. If 2 is an arc and a straight line. 3 is 2 arcs. 4 it's 3 straight line of the circle that we're going to pull out. 5, the straight line, the over straight line down on the next arc. 6, straight line down on the arc. 7, a straight line across, a straight line down. 8, 2 full circle. That's why 8 is so important. Eternity. 8, because 2 circle represent the male and female. Is the fullness of humanity. That 8. And then you go to the 9, the greatest number, which is the full circle with the knowing that when you open that circle, it's a straight line, from God to man and woman. That is the connection. That's why His Majesty left us the speech. Yes. They want to know how them donate. Tell them how them donate, the Jasmine Squassy,
Yes,
before I continue.
You can do a super chat. So if you look at the top of the comment section, there's a button you can press. You can go through YouTube, or let me bring up the other ways. You can do Cash App, we do Zelle as well. Let me bring up all of that information. So anyway you want to support, we have a solution for the eye. Let me bring that up for the eye. Hold on one moment here. Okay. Hold on 1 second here. Anytime you see me a struggle like this, you know my queen is not on the production, because the queen would have it up fast. But I'm not seeing. Hold on. All right, so let me just put up this one here for the Haile Selassie Ethiopia. But you can go through the YouTube super chat on top of the comments and just click the button and you can think. And I also let me also big up all of our YouTube members, because you can do paid membership on YouTube, and I see some of the items doing that, monthly membership on YouTube. If you do that though, I would say still sign up for the free Patreon so we get your email address, because we want to be able to contact you off of these platforms. We have our newsletter, we have other things that we're going to be doing off of these platforms. We don't own these platforms, family. So yes, we're here, but we also want to make sure that we have a direct link with our family. Before you go further too, I want to reason with the eye about Rastafari youths. I'm going to bring on one of my good sisters who is actually responsible for the Art Virtual Summer Camp, Sister Isla. Royal blessings. Um,
Kayla,
this is the
sis,
yeah, yes, yes. This is the perfect
All the
time.
items, so that is the next arc, you know. Arc.
Yes,
Association of Rastafari Creatives. We're quite clear. Yeah, overs. Yeah,
yes,
go on, the
yes.
sister queen.
yes, Queen Mother. I'm listening to you and just picking up, learning as we grow. So give thanks for the education. Yeah, give
Uh,
thanks as much for the platform and the works. Rastafari.
anytime I see the eye, cause we still haven't got your full reasoning yet, So,
Definitely you're going to have to bring her forward. But the just must question before you bring her on, because I need to give other people the opportunity to come on. So I'm just going to seal with His Majesty's speech that him leave I and I. He said the building is no longer the church. The heart is the temple in which God dwells. You understand? So know this. Your body is a holy temple. And you know that because if you think an ungodly thought or engage in ungodly act, the Spirit of God leave your body. How you know? A thing named conscience, that means that God gone, but give thanks for grace and mercy. All you have to say, no, Jah, that not right, No, and him forgive you, and him come right back home, because him love to stay home and keep our body holy. I am going to go and watch like everyone else, so other ones can be brought into the studio and share where they're from and share their story. Give thanks to Jasmine Squassy for allowing I to have this platform. My sister Empress, Isla Benjamin, say, we have it. Say, thank you. The
I
youth
don't
there.
unless you have to go somewhere. I don't want you leave because we're gonna talk about Rastafari young people.
All right, I'm not going anywhere then. I'll just stay quiet for now. Go ahead, put her up. Let them see our beautiful royal self. Yes.
Reflections, Mama.
So, Sister Isla, talk to us about this ARC STEAM camp, and how people can tune in, how they can support the works of ARC, and some of the things that the I is doing as we reflect on this eve of the 131st of the birth of Lidj Tafari.
All right. Yes, I give thanks. But first, I want to say that give thanks for the platform, give thanks for the work, give thanks for the example, give thanks for raising the bar, and giving Rastafari good news a platform. That's very important. Even my youth were here listening in the background. My older youth, you know how our older youth are at these times. You can't sit them down and talk to them too much. So
Let them know I know them from they were baby bumps, I let all the youths them know I know you from you were a baby bump. So big up all of the youths them in the Benjamin household.
Give thanks, Rastafari. So so this year we are using the I's curriculum proposal, Designing the Community of Tomorrow. And it is a really critical and beautiful segue into raising and encouraging and inspiring our youth to let their voices be heard. And most importantly, that I, as parents, are listening to them. Because that's the argument that I hear from the youth. Our youth who are teenagers, who are young adults, they don't feel heard. So designing the community of tomorrow is really about letting them tell us, show us what they see. What are they picking up? What is it that we are planting that they're picking up? So as you said, it's August 10th through the 14th, 5 short days. But in those 5 days, we pack in a lot. It is virtual. We look forward to it being in person in the upcoming years, but it gives an opportunity for the youth to have like a pen pal program. They meet youth from other places. They get input, feed forward from other youth their age. And we operate in a multi-age environment where you can learn from someone. It's in a 12th grader could be learning from a first grader and vice versa, meaning the reasonings that happen, the interconnectiveness that happens. And our jegnas, our teachers, are very exciting people. They are very well accomplished in their fields, and they really volunteer their time. It's really exciting, the energy that, actually, if you're looking for a place where you find a lot of Kingman teachers, brethren teachers, ARC, right? This year, 5 of our teachers are brethren. Normally, we associate all of the teaching with the queens, the women. So, of course, we want more women, but we're very happy. And so, bring your youths, bring your young male youth, so that they can see productive, progressive Rastafari people. Bring your sister, bring your young youth from 6 years old to 18-year-olds. There's a place and a space for them. Now, and make sure we let the teenagers know we're not going to baby them. They're going to take leadership roles. They're going to have spaces and places that they can do the things that they do as young adults, and really just lead. I'll pause there. I'm very excited about it. We're going to talk more about it on the 29th. But I'll pause there because, there's no night.
Yes. Ras 7 is asking, is this Empress married to one of Von Benjamin family members? Correct?
Well, that's a story for another time. It's not for me right now, but I am a very long time sister of Vaughn's. Firstly, before I was married to a Benjamin, as a young adult at a high school, Vaughn and Ronnie really took me in as a little sister. My first reggae song was helped written by Vaughn. My first stage presences where I was encouraged to go out there, that was Vaughn. And there's just a long history, even them babysitting my son and things like that. So, and then many years later, I married a Benjamin who happened to be related to the parent, to their father. So distant relatives who didn't know each other. So it's really a mystic, and that's another story for another time. And I don't really talk about that because the Benjamin family all are very private families.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, guess what? You have to save it for your appearance.
I don't know. It's not much more for me to share than that,
Let me just say that this sister is one of the sisters when I was just studying up in university that I met at the Nyabingi House in Washington, D.C. Over 26 years ago, 27 years ago. So this is not somebody I'm just meeting on the internet. And so many works over the years, and still on the battlefield putting forward the work. She allowed I to take her eldest son to Ghana, which is one of my greatest honor, that I was entrusted in that mission through Habisha. And he went to Ghana with us and ended up going back to Ghana with Habisha. So this is a family vibration, and I really give thanks. I want to just say the curriculum for this year, as I say, I conceived and conceptualized based on the realization that we have to build our communities of tomorrow. So look at this. We use the AI to create landscapes where we're thinking about, and we'll show some of these images to the youths then. We're thinking about how do we live and work and design spaces off the grid. As we prepare for the collapse of Babylon, we're approaching a major energy collapse of the global system by design, because they're switching, I think, to more renewables and different things. It's an opportunity. But one of the things is that, as the Empress said, we have to listen to our youth, because our youths are the builders. A lot of the things that we're talking about, the execution, will fall upon our young people. Because even though we feel good, we're not as young as we used to be, We're getting those gray hairs, and we're wearing them with pride. but we're not as young as we used to be. So we definitely need to start getting our young people involved in the process and not think that we're doing something and they're not involved, and then we're looking who is going to inherit all of this work that we have done, you know. Queen Mother Moses, you wanted to say something first?
Oh no, I'll wait.
Queen Mother Moses, how do you feel about this current state of our Rastafari youths today?
Well, the current state of our Rasta, I have hope, you know. I have to and maintain hope. You know why? I started the first school for Rastafari youths in my apartment in Union Street, Brooklyn. And those students included Morgan Heritage, Denroy Morgan's youths, them, right? And we haven't lost any of them. That's why it's so important. The first 7 years of a child's life is the most important years of, you know, for them to be trained. So those youths that were part of the training, none of them have left Rastafari. They've held on to it. You understand? We see Gramps Morgan has gotten his king title, chief title in Ghana. You understand? They were part of my students. Yes. All right. So that is important. Also, all right. Also, my first, yes, thank you. Yeah, my first ambassadorial assignment as the Queen Mother of the Rastafari faith was in 1992 for the centenary of His Imperial Majesty's return to earth as the Christ. And as part of that, as an educator, because, you know, I get my first Sunday school class a teacher when I 7. When I'm 14, you have a Department of Education, then high school students.
You're breaking up a little bit here.
So in Ethiopia, I bought in 1992 education equipment and put first educational program. Positive learning activities for youth, you know, and that has been what to be, you know, the JRDC school.
It's breaking up. Are you hearing her? You're breaking up, Queen Mother Moses. The signal since you moved. Yeah, you have to.
I came inside, you know, my voice carries and I'm in a neighborhood that is very residential.
Okay.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Is this better?
Yes.
All right, let me finish this here and then I'm going to leave you all.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So in 1992, I carried books and materials and sports equipment and put on the first summer camp. So, you know, you see Sister Isla, they're going to the R camp. Yeah, the first summer camp was done in Ethiopia in 1992. And I named it PLAY, from Positive Learning Activities for Youths. That's PLAY. So that is the model that I ended up launching in South Africa as RASCOP, Rastafari Annual Summer Camp Unity Power Program. And I'm telling you, you know, we are empowering the youth. So I have hope, no matter what, that, you know, we always going to have a generation that is going to hold on and carry on. My son, the amazing Papa Gad Tafawa Stewart, he was the youth ambassador for Rastafari. And he ended up, you know, going to being hosted by President Zuma. He met all of the presidents of the continent during the GADS, which is the Global Africa Diaspora Summit, which was hosted in South Africa by the government and the United Nations and Pan-African Congress and the African Union. So we've always, you know, had the youth component, and I give thanks that, you know, he has held on and done. He's no longer youth. He's now 50 years old, although I don't look it, you know, black don't crack, you know, I'm 70. So you know how that go. So there's always youth. Now, I went into the prison system and gave them 10 years. When I went in, we started now getting one of the institutions for the youth them to transition to, you understand, before them went into the adult environment. And I was blessed that the superintendent of that prison was a Jamaican, you know, she was a Jamaican woman. And she decided to go and work with me and give me access. The first thing I did, you know, Black History Month program. And the first thing I did with those youths was to give them Jeremiah 8 verse 21, where God said, for the hurt of the daughter of my people and my hurt.
All right, the signal.
They saw themselves for the first time in a holy book that God looked like them, black. You understand? So that was the greatest thing. And at that time, the Rastafari faith in the prison, New York State Department of Correction, them defined it as an emerging faith. They never see it as a major faith. When I left, it was the #1 major faith in the system. You understand? It take over the Roman Catholic, which was #1 when I went in. It take over the Muslim, which was #2. Take over the Jews, everything #1. So you see, our youth just want the information to know who they are, their identity as royalty, and they will hold on. Because when I finished my presentation, I said, what did you get out of it? The first thing them say, God black like me, you overs, me royal, I am a prince, I am not a slave. So you see, these are the things I want our youth, you know, to get. Now I am a guest in my Empress home, and it's bedtime for everyone. It's coming up to 10 o'clock. So you're all going to excuse me because you know me and my voice, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to keep up anyone. And I give thanks for this opportunity. You know, my work don't stop, and me talk truth to power, family, friends, and foe. And without apology, Emperor Haile Selassie is God in the flesh. You know, see, Christ return, save I and I, a Christmas this, our Christ. You know, see, our thing, you know, first it was crazy, Eddie, you know, in the 70s, take up 12 tribes of Israel, think we are celebrate Christmas July 23rd and talk about Christmas in July. Now Hallmark Channel have movies all of July and call it Christmas in July, and have all kind of romantic movies in July for Christmas in July. 12 tribes of Israel responsible for that. I and I, Rastafari, are responsible for the world I recognize Christmas in July. You know, welcome, Gena. Blessings. All right. Good night, my family. Perfect 7 love. Minutes to 10. I'll bless. Love one, you know. Bless.
Yes, perfect love, Queen Mother. Yes. And we're gonna seal up shortly because I'm headed out to the Nyabingi grounds tonight for the fire lighting. But before we go though, Sister Isla, we want to just give a picture for the parents, because I want everyone watching live. We have 44 people on live. I want the item to spread the word about this summer camp. We have a lot of parents out there who have Rastafari youths that are the only Rastafari youth in their school, only Rastafari youth in their area. This camp helps them to build a network of other youths like them, where they can learn from Rastafari instructors. They can be surrounded. And this year, we also have reached out to the creative community, ARC. We're going to have artists, recording artists, a surprise artist at the end of every day that's going to be reasoning with the youth and just, you know, give them a little encouragement, so they'll be able to see the artist's music video and then hear directly from the artist. We have artists signed up already. We'll announce who some of those names are as we get closer to the camp. But this is something that we are developing. What year is this, Sister Isla, for the camp?
This is officially year 3.
Okay, beautiful. And last year we had John 9 was the camp administrator. So we've always had artists the year before, Wida Maya, Ras Wida Maya. Next Wednesday, we're going to have some of the instructors on the platform. We're going to do the whole episode on the ARC STEAM camp. So we are just calling to the global Rastafari family to sign up your youths them, and it's pay what you can afford. So we're not turning back any families who are looking for that. If your youth is under 6, I think you have to be there with them. But tell the parents, why should they care about this camp, and what benefits do we want for the youth then?
Well, I think you did a good job, Dijaz Much. In reality, this is a reasoning that needs a fullness,
Yes,
because
yes.
we are seeing the distraction of our youth in real time. And each generation is more distracted by design, right? And we're losing their interests. While Babylon is interested in Rastafari, wants to make money from Rastafari, wants to capture the style, the fashion, the word sound. Our youth who are raised in Rastafari are being tempted to completely abandon it. So what I've learned raising 5 youth and the challenges of raising those youth when they are not socialized with Rastafari youth is, it is so critical for them to make friends that are Rastafari. It is so critical for them to see other people who look like them. And even I tell my youth, if you decide that you don't want to trod Bingi or trod Bobo or trod 12 tribe, you are always the children of Rastafari. Whether you dread, whether you're locks up, whether whatever you do, you're always, no matter what, the children of Rastafari. So we need the children of Rastafari to see one another, to be seen and be heard by one another. So I would say that even if it's just for a short time, because we don't all want our youth online all day, have your youth see themselves. Let them see a mirror of themselves. Let them hear one another so they don't feel so isolated, because those are the reasoning. So again, we can have this reasoning. As parents, we need to have a parent reasoning.
Yes.
And say something that Nana Farika said, that Queen Mother Moses also said. But Nana Farika, speaking with her yesterday and today, as you know, she's an educator and a huge that we are focused on the Rastafari youth, and very, in a way, kind of disappointed that we haven't reached further as a Rastafari people. So she said that whatever it is that we're doing, the question we have to ask ourselves, not just the youth leading, but what is it that we want our youth to know? What do we want them to learn, right? What is it that what do we want for them? We must actually clearly state that. We must clearly know that. And how are we going to work together to make it happen? And that's what's happening with the ARC Summer Camp. All of the Jegnas know what they want the youth to know from them, what they want to give them in that 5 days. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to share, for them to share mindfulness, the teachings of the Honorable Marcus Garvey on nation building, the teachings of His Imperial Majesty and Empress Menen on leadership and conflict resolution, agriculture, and the practical, sustainable principles of agriculture, and actually doing it. Like last year, the youth were growing their plants and sharing with each other how the processes are. Working with a real agriculturalist who's doing this, not just philosophy, but doing it daily. Word sound power. How are Ayabingi harps? What do they mean? We don't just play music, but what is the power behind our word sound, behind the drum, behind the heartbeat? And the visuals, our youth love love the phone. So we're going to use the phone to create short films, photos, to speak our story. And on the 5th day, it's like an expo where they will whatever inspired them through the 5 days, they will be able to share poetry, music, film, anything that has inspired them in a creative way, just showing how they're designing the community of tomorrow. We have Sister Olivia, who once know her from Earth in the Fullness, based in.
Yes, yes.
We have Ras Maya, Asafo Maya.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a Marcus Garvey Fest. Many of you guys know him from different spaces as an artist as well, and as an educator, African Culture School. We have Ras Amaha Selassie. This is his first year with I, and he is one actively building community co-op, running one of the largest
Yeah, yes.
co-op in Ohio, right?
The
And he's
latest member of the Lion Pride on Patreon as well. Big up Amaha.
Amaha, he might be still in Ethiopia right now. We have Ras Aya Gift. Once know Ras Aya Gift. He's of course based in Jamaica as well, and he was here with I from that time till now with education. And he's doing word sound power. He really breaks down the iritation, the irates of the bingy drum, and of using your voice and being heard, right? And then we have Ras Trey Subira from Black Mission Media. If anyone has seen the Habisha film, Black to Our Roots, and
Yeah.
different works that he does with the youth in the ghettos of Baltimore to help them tell their story and not be ashamed of where they come from, and know that they have beauty all around them. So this is our second year working with him. So yeah, I don't think I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, so yeah, my role right now is really just helping to do whatever administrative work and behind the scenes this year and
Yes.
years until we can have some of our youth do that, and to inspire our young people to take up the role of even being a part of that administrative space. We want the youth to lead ARC. We don't want to be the ones leading ARC very soon.
No, that means we fail.
Yeah,
Have any youth signed up yet?
we do have a couple youth signed up. We have, I won't say their names for privacy,
Yeah.
but yes, so please
Yes.
sign youths and encourage your youth. Now, one thing I know, we're going to do another flyer, because when the youth see the flyer and they see books, they're like, oh, I'm not ready to go back to school. It's summer. So we want them to know that it's going to be fun. It's going to be, it's going to be cool, and it's going to be what they make it. So they have the opportunity to make it. Now, if anyone is listening and your youth is not 18, they're a little bit older than 18, still reach out to us, because we have some leadership roles that are available.
Yes.
Adults.
My son is gonna be volunteering this year. To coordinate. I have a 16-year-old, so he'll be helping and getting some training. We're building out his college resume. So we have space for internships. So if you have older youths, they can come to the camp in a helping capacity, so we can help to build out their portfolio, give them skills and things like that. So many ways. And I want the item to notice Lion Voice Network, how we do things. We don't just come and talk about the history. We always have some kind of current works or worker that's coming on here looking for that global support. So our thing is not an illusion thing. And you mentioned Nana Faraika. I just want to bring up her GoFundMe. Since we've put it up, we've gotten very close to the goal, but we want to see if we can hit that. So if you go to GoFundMe, just type in Nana Faraika. We're almost at I think when we started this, we were at 35.
You're muted to just much. I think you're muted.
Oh, am I muted? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check.
I hear you now.
Okay.
I hear you now.
Yes. No, I was saying that we've been able to raise I think almost $200 since we started showing this.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you on the StreamYard for some reason. It's on the other platform that I'm hearing you.
What platform? What other platform?
Let's see.
Oh, they saying that they can hear I. They saying they can hear I. Big up Freeway Dread. Long time I don't see the I. Lion Pride on Patreon checking in. Freeway Dread. We need to reason. I want to have a reasoning about the global supply chain and trucking. We have a lot of Rastafari truckers. I have a next brethren who's in trucking. We're going to talk about the increase in the price of diesel, what's coming down the pipeline. So we're going to have that reasoning here on Lion Voice Network. The truckers are the canary in the coal mine, you know what I mean, of the system. Everything move on the highways, so the truckers see what's going around the country. So we're going to hear from them. Freeway, yes, we're looking forward to hear the I testimony and the I journey. Rastafari Trucking Company, big up Mo, Ras Mo, all of the ones there, you know. That being said, we have to now start getting ready for the Nyabingi Isis. But yes, please, family, age protected. We have Bongo Wisely and Nana Faraika need strength. So in addition, I think tonight we raised $40 from the Lion Pride. 50, let me say 50, with Ras Super gave a contribution, $10. So we are, how much? We're $84 short. So if you can give an attribution, give thanks. We're working out our muscle here. You know what I mean? I hear the I, Ken Dolly, what the I is saying, but we are working out our muscle here. One of the problems that we have with all of these works is the lack of capital, you know? And I'm a firm believer that this technology gives us access to actual real people, and that every mickle make a muckle and one cocoa full basket. So I'm a firm believer that we can use the power of the collective, using the $5 and the $10 as a weapon before the fiat currency crashes, because believe it or not, they're crashing all of those fiat currencies. Gold right now is the global reserve currency, quietly has returned to the global reserve currency. All of this fiat money that's not backed by gold is going to crash. And America is one of the primary proponents, because we've been printing money over this side of creation for years now. So before it loses its value, we need to aggregate it, direct it at the workers and the projects that need funding, and translate it from the concept of capital, that $5, $10 in your pocket that goes to waste because you buy foolishness with it. We need to take that, send it to the workers, and those workers now can convert it tools into land, into recovery for themselves, where they can afford to now focus on their work. Again, 50,000 people with $10, that's $500,000 that can fund a project for 2 years. You know what I mean? So longer than that if you're depending on the project. So we have that power. We are now 78,000 subscribers strong in the Lion Pride, and I know that the algorithm, most of the subscribers don't see the notifications, but the potential is there. I may not get to 50,000 people doing one thing until we get 1 million subscribers, but the fact is we are going to manifest it. The Lion Pride goes stronger every day. Let me tell you something, Sister Isla. We passed 5,000 watch hours for the first time in the channel. And just to give you perspective, to monetize a YouTube channel,
past 5,000 watch hours for the first time.
I'm hearing the echo.
Channel. And just to give you perspective, to monetize a YouTube channel.
Okay. So to monetize a YouTube channel, you have to get 4,000 watch hours in a calendar year to qualify to monetize your YouTube channel. So just to put it in perspective, we have done 5,000 watch hours in the last month, in the last 28 days, and over 112,000 views in the last 28 days. So the movement is picking up speed. Big up all of the Lion Pride. But we are not just looking for passive audience members. Rastafari, again, is suffering from lack of capital. We can't manifest the work that we want to manifest. So we are reaching out not to the people who are not subscribers. If you're a casual viewer, big up yourself. I'm talking to the Lion Pride, the ones them who this resonate with them, it touch their heart, they see the effort, they see the work, they see the consistency, and they want it to grow because they know that as it grows, this platform is for the item too. When the item have a product or a service, now you have an audience who is already primed to support the item. You know what I mean? So it's a system that we're building here that will benefit all of us. But the system cannot be part-time. We don't want to deal with it that way there. And we can't depend on sponsorship from companies because then they pull their sponsorship and they drop you on your face. So the only solution is a thing called collective security for surety. Having the audience fund the platform gives us the most security. Big up the 53 people who see the vision. We want to get that to 100 people this year. So if you love it, come off of the fence and step up and make I chat together. You know what I mean? And as we get bigger, we will just sponsor the camp. You know what I mean? The parents, we just have it for free. You know what I mean? Let me see if I receive the cash app. But in the meantime, Sister Isla, any final songs that I want to block? Sister Isla?
No final sounds at the jazz match. I'm actually hearing you in and out, but
Okay.
I really hope that ones really value what you're doing and really, really support, because what you're doing is going to support, the media can support the whole community. And I hope ones will go to RastafariCreatives.com,
Yes.
read a little bit more about the events, about the summer camp. And when is the date that we're going to have the summer camp reasoning? The 29th? So yeah, once join I on the 29th, where you meet
Next
the
Wednesday.
Jegnas and really hear the passion that they've put into what they have to offer. So, I'm not a person who always gets on camera. I'm a little camera shy, they call it. So I'm trying to get through that. So give thanks for having I on the platform. And give thanks for the
We're
works.
waiting for your solo
Rastafari
episode.
works
That's going to be
itinerary.
epic. It's going to be
To the
epic. The
Haile
solo.
Selassie I and Empress Men in Balance.
Give thanks. Give thanks. We're waiting for the solo episode. You know what I mean? It's going to be epic. So we give thanks. There's a little delay, but that's my good sister. As we say, more than 2 decades, and always putting forward the works. You know what I mean? Exodus, I got the cash app, $35. That pushes us to $85 raised on this live. We are trying to hit $134. We're exercising the muscle, family. So if you can give an attribution, we give thanks. That was just 14 people giving $10. We would have overrun. So when I'm asking for those attribution, the principle that we're exercising is every mickle make a buckle. That is, give you $5, give you $10. And then we're exercising this muscle sometimes for the platform, sometimes for a guest. You know what I mean? But every time we want to get into the habit when we come on these lives that we're directing capital at something positive. You know what I mean? Just as a culture, a part of our culture, we reprogram or counter-programming ourselves to just have that supportive energy, because we are feeding the beast system by being inside of it, by consuming, by going to the grocery store, by doing all of these things. We need to feed our own ecosystem. We need to feed what we are building, and we do that by taking that capital and directing it to our guests and to the platform itself, because the platform needs strength. This is not my full-time work, so we want to get it to where we have the ability to support I being full-time in this media. We want to travel, all of these things, and people are doing it. You know, big up my brethren. I Never Knew TV, others who, you know, have taken the content to a next level. If I didn't see it is possible, trust me, I wouldn't utter the sound, but I see it's possible and we're doing it. So I just want to give thanks and gratitude as we go into the eve of the birth of Lidj Tafari. I just want to thank all of the items. We are now headed out to the Nyabingi Center here in Washington, D.C. Tomorrow, we will be going live with Abba Yahuda out of California. We're talking about the birth of Lidj Tafari, but also asking, where do we go from here? The brethren wrote a book about the Essene Nazarite connection of Rastafari. So he's definitely going into a biblical conception, but he's deep with it, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk to him. He also has created his own ITAL standard. He's also part of an architectural design firm doing mightyful works. Abba Yahuda tomorrow on the coronation, we will go, on the Earth Strong, we will go live. So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for so much more content. We're fully loaded. We're also going to drop the full episode of Ras Aswad Nkrabia, our elder from Ghana. That full episode will drop tomorrow on the coronation as well. So just stay tuned, family, and full joy. Do something kind for your brethren or your sister, and call someone, share the love, and remember that we are here and that we won't stop. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice.
Endorsing the Lions voice. Big up Ras Tafari. See? Big up Ras Tafari. It is time for the Lion to tell our own story. Yes, sir.
There is a land far, far away. Where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life, and you will see that there's a land far, far away. Raspuasi, that there's a land far, far away. Speak, lion. Speak, lion. Roll, lion. Roll every time.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Ruddy up, it sexy dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lions to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give all the powers to chant. Jah give all the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice. Rastafari.
here, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to
could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we see them one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Lidj Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then, born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of Lidj Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Lidj Tafari, when he was grown in.
Back on midnight titles, which we believe is the most of any shop in the world. Special invite for the Lion Pride. Use code Lion's Voice and save 10% store-wide. If you spend $125 or more, the discount goes up to 15%. Visit us online at www.irootsrecords.com. The time has come.
Orlando, Central Florida, are you ready? The African Culture School Incorporated and Heights of Life Music proudly presents the 4th annual Marcus Garvey Music Fest, Saturday, August 15th at Ras State in Claremont, Florida, featuring Lutan Fire, backed by Rhythm Rebel Band. Also performing live, Andy Heights, Ainike, Esau, One Journey, Javerse, Royal Chanter, Asafa Widimaya, and many more incredible artists. Vibes provided by Unity Sound, Rastek, Royal Ethiopian Sound, Jawise, and Blackfoot.
Thrilling saga delves into the complexities of dealing. For the Woman Painted Purple is a pulse-pounding tale that explores the boundaries of justice, revenge, and the fighting spirit. This thrilling saga delves into the complexities of dealing with mental health, domestic abuse, and finding love after. Own your copy today. Visit www.devongreen.com.
Paintbrush@gmail.com. You do not want to miss. We offer world. This is the Black Heart Man, Rastafari children's picture book with hand-painted illustrations and rhythmic storytelling. This is a journey you do not want to miss. We offer worldwide shipping, so order your copy today at www.thegreerspaintbrush.com. Alternatively, you can order your copy from TikTok. If you are interested in stocking the book, please email us at thegreerspaintbrush@gmail.com. Give thanks.
Jamaica to Toronto. The Rastafest movement rises again. This August 15 and 16, Rastafest 2026 returns to Little Jamaica in Toronto with reggae.
Save the date. Join us on Sunday, August 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. for the 25th annual fundraiser for the Shashamane Foundation at the Silver Spring Civic Center, Great Buffalo Hall in Silver Spring, Maryland. Come be a part of an evening that helps transform lives by supporting quality education and sustainable development at the JRDC School in Shashamane, Ethiopia. Your presence and generosity help empower children, strengthen communities, and build a brighter future. Can't attend? You can still make a difference by donating at shashamane.org or by scanning the event QR code. Mark your calendar. Bring your